Good morning, students. So today we will discuss a new unit, that's unit 3. Already we have finished unit 1 and unit 2 of database management system. So basic concept of database management system, that already we have finished. So also we have discussed so many important questions, previous year questions also. So today we will discuss start in unit 3 of database management system. This is unit 3, third unit of database management system, that is your relational model. That is your relational model of database. Okay, there are so many models that we know, that is a object oriented model and network model, and another one is a relational model. So unit 3 will cover this relational model. So before going to study this relational model, first we have to understand what is a relation. Okay, so what is a relation? Here all data are stored in database in a row column wise format. Okay, row column wise means where all data are arranged in a row and column. So row and column wise arrangement of data are stored in database. This is nothing but the table format or tabular format. It is nothing but the tabular format. Means there is so many number of rows and so many number of columns. This tabular format, this tabular form of the database system, nothing but the table, or this is nothing but the relation. So here in tabular form or row column format, there is number of rows and number of columns. Okay, so number of rows, what we will tell, we will discuss. What are the number of columns? Okay, the column heading, what are the values, what are the name of the, we will discuss all the things. Okay, so this database model was first introduced by Dr. E.F. Codd. So this relational model is first introduced by E.F. Codd. E.F. Codd by 1970. Okay, so first IBM, there is a IBM, they also used this relational model, but E.F. Codd first introduced this relational model of database management system in 1970. This relational model allows data to be represented in the simple row column format, that is the tabular format. All data are stored in a tabular form, that is tabular format, as a row and column wise format. Okay, so this database model is represented as a collections of relations. So the database model contains number of relations. Number of relations are stored in this database model. Means a table and a table. One table is a relation, another relation. Again, there is some relation between two tables, that thing also we will discuss. Okay, so each relation is dependent by two-dimensional table. That means this row column wise format or tabular format is also all data values are stored in two-dimensional format. Okay, two-dimensional table. This relation is also two-dimensional table. Okay, the two-dimensional table. This relation is also two-dimensional. One is row, another one is a column. So now let us go to relation. Okay, so the relational database, in a database consisting of a set of relations. So the relational model, it is consisting of number of relations. Relations in the table, that is a two-dimensional table format where all data or values are stored. In a specific format, that is row column wise format or row column format or tabular format, is also known as two-dimensional table. Okay, so Here relation is a set of, here a relation or table, database table consists of a number of rows. Okay, it consists of number of rows. The rows are nothing but called as tuples. The rows are nothing but the tuples. Okay, that is the horizontal subset of the table. Also, it is called as horizontal subset of the database table. So, table consists of number of rows. The rows are nothing but, this is called tuples. The tuples are the nothing but the horizontal subset of the table. Okay. So, tuple being a set of attributes. Okay. This tuple is consisting of set of attributes. It consists of set of attributes. Another database term is called attributes. First we have table or relation, then tuple, then attribute. The tuple consists of number of attributes. Okay, and each attribute contains some values. This attribute really contains some database values. So these attributes contains really some values. So table consists of number of rows or tuples. Tuple consisting of number of attributes. The attributes contains the real value. Okay, and each attribute is being identified by its name. So each attribute that must have a name. Okay. So in this we are studying, and there are so many relations. There is another two concepts I will tell: relational schema and relational instance. Okay, that I will think relational schema and relational instance. I will discuss. Okay, so there are basic terms like the table, relation, tuples, and attributes. Then some values. That value is valid value. That valid value is also known as domain. Okay, also known as domain. Okay, another two important concept that I am telling you, that is one relational schema and relational instance. Okay, so today we will discuss all about the what is it, table, tuple, attribute, domain, and relational schema and relational instance. Okay, now see. So here in relational model, this relation nothing but that the set of table, means this relation database contains a set of tables only. Okay. So now discuss about the tuple. Tuple of the database. So this tuple is nothing but the row. Each row in the table, each row in the table is known as tuple. So a finite set of there is some number of tuples. That is the record. We can call that is also called as records. Each record are stored in a specific table. So table contains number of tuples. Tuples nothing but the each row value. Okay, that is the horizontal subset. The tuple are the horizontal subset of the table. Okay, a relational table contains number of records or tuples. For example, a student database consisting of number of a student record. Student roll number 1, student roll number 2, roll number 3, all these things. Okay, and tuple is a set of attribute values which may not be homogeneous. Important thing is this tuple or record are not homogeneous. This is a heterogeneous, means not homogeneous. Not homogeneous means not similar data type. For example, a student record consists of roll number, name, date of birth, course enrolled, course fee, age, So all these types that I am telling you, name, roll number, father's name, date of birth, course fee, all are not similar data type. So this record, this tuple, this row, this record is not homogeneous. Means different types of data can be stored in a tuple. Okay, different types of data can be stored in the record. Okay. Then come to attribute, because a tuple consisting of number of, it consists of number of attributes. Now discuss what is attribute. Okay. So attribute is nothing but that is each column or field. Okay, each column in a table or field is known as attribute. So each column, in each row, this is each column. Each column or field is known as attribute. So here, suppose a name is the attribute of a student table. So in name field, all students' name will be stored. Means it is homogeneous. All data types of a attribute is homogeneous. That is the vertical subset of the table. The vertical subset, it is also called as vertical subset of the table. Vertical subset of the table. I mean database table. So tuple is the horizontal subset of the table, and attribute is the vertical subset of the table. So each row, each field, each column which contains homogeneous values, that is the attribute. Okay. So tuples and attribute. So this attribute contains real the values. Okay. And each attribute is dependent to describe the specific features of the entity. Each value, it is consisting of some value. It consists some values, some valid values, These valid values, nothing but is called the domain. So another term is coming, that is the domain. All domain values can be stored in this attribute. Now let us discuss about the domain. Okay, so domain that contains that is the real values, valid values. Okay, this is domain. There must be a domain range. It is a set of some permissible values. It is set of some permissible values. That value is permitted to be stored in database, and it can be given to an attribute. And every attribute in a table has a specific domain. Every attribute or database has a specific domain, that is the domain range. There must be domain range. There must be domain range. For example, as in a suppose employee data, I am considering employee database. Table is employee database. So attribute, suppose is age. Suppose age is the attribute. Okay. Employee database, that is age may be the attribute, and domain name, suppose age, the domain name value must be 1 to 65. Suppose 18 to 65. Means all employee must be greater than 18, and employee must not be greater than 65. Means within 80 to 65, all values are permissible to be stored in the age. Okay, so no employee having age less than 18. No employee having age greater than 65. So all permissible value between 18 to 65, this is the domain range. Okay, this is the domain value. These values are permissible. Others, all values are not permissible. Okay. Every attribute in a table has a specific domain, that is a domain range. Okay. So instance value of the attribute is also called as domain. This is the instance value. Another we can call it instance value. Instance value is also called as domain. Okay. So these values, these attributes domain are the predefined value and scope. So these values are predefined. The instance value, these are predefined. These are the predefined values. Okay. These values, these domain values, just I have told you the age of the employee that must be between 18 to 65. All values must be lies in between this range. That is the domain range. So this concept is predefined. The predefined actually database has to be fed. What are the permissible values that will be stored in a specific domain? Okay. So in this way, we are this is the basic structure, basic concept of the relational model. That concept is given by the E.F. Card in 1970, which is first introduced. Okay, there are so many relational database management systems are there, like DB2, database 2, infix dynamic server, that is by the IBM, Oracle, RDB Oracle, MySQL, SQL server, access of Microsoft MS Access, all are the relational model. The examples of this relational model. So we learned today some new terms like tuple, attribute, and domain. Okay, here the domain are the predefined values or instance values. Another concept another two concepts I am telling you, that is a relational schema and a relational instance. Okay, now we will give an example to explain all these terms. Okay, now I am writing an example that will indicate all the values. Suppose we are considering a table. Suppose I am considering a table, consider table a relation, that is a person. Suppose a relation, that is a person. So this relation person consisting so many attributes like suppose person ID, name, age, address. Suppose person ID, name, age, and address. I am writing in a row column format as a table. There are number of values, number of rows, number of tuples. Suppose person ID, suppose I am giving 101, 201, 301, 401, 501. Suppose name I am giving ABC, BCD, CDE, EFG. Suppose age 18, 19, 25, 22, 20. Address suppose VSR, Cuttack, Raulkela, Brahmpur, BBS. Okay, so this is a person. This is a table. This column here the column person ID, name, age, address are the attributes. The attributes of the relation person. So relation is the person, and the attributes are your attributes are person ID, name, age, address. Okay, this is the address. Suppose these are the attributes of the relation person. Okay, each row represents separate tuple or records, that is a horizontal subset of the table. So this is the horizontal subset. This is the row. This row is nothing but this is called as a tuple, database tuple. That is the horizontal subset. Okay, and these are the columns. Suppose the column field person ID in the column. So this is the this values. This is the vertical subset. This is the attribute or a field. Okay. Suppose the age of a person that must lie between 18 to 65, suppose. Or 1 to age of the person was 1 to 120. Suppose the age we have assigned 1 to 120. So all these values from 1 to 120 are allowed, is permitted to be entered here. Okay, all values to be entered here. That means these values are domains. So domain values can be defined by assigning a type of or format or range to the attribute. This domain range with the range to the attribute. So all permissible values are allowed to be stored in a particular attribute. Suppose age is the attribute, so all these values are domain. Suppose address, so we are considering suppose all addresses all must be belongs to Odisha. So here we can write all addresses of Odisha, not out of Odisha. Out of Odisha address is not allowed, not the permissible values. This is not the domain. That not belongs to the domain range. Okay. So in this way we are storing all these values. Okay. In this way we are storing all these values. Now we will discuss about the relational schema and relational instance. And again, another thing is that total number of rows. Total number of rows is row 1, row 2, is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, and row 5. Total number of rows is known as cardinality of the table. Total number of rows, total number of records, total number of rows or total number of records are the cardinality. Okay, this is the cardinality of the table. Similarly, total number of columns, suppose this is column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. So total number of columns are the degree of the table. This is the cardinality. So in this table, total cardinality how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. R1, R2, R3, R4, R5. So cardinality is 5. Cardinality of this table is 5. And degree of this table is 1, 2, 3, 4. So degree of this table is equal to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 number of attributes are there. Okay. So here another to consider that relational instance, relational schema. So here relational schema we discuss relational schema and relational instance. Okay. So this is the attribute, this is the cardinality of the table, degree of the table. Now we discuss about the relational schema. So relational schema relational schema. Okay, of this table, other table person, that is person. Then here person ID. This person ID is considered, suppose you have to mention the data type here. Suppose this is integer. Okay, this is integer. Then name. This is string. Another attribute is age. And this is also again integer. Okay. And the address. I have written here address. That is string of characters. This is the relational schema of the relation person. Okay, this is the relational schema of the relation person. Now, suppose person ID equal to 101. Suppose person ID equal to 101. Person name equal to ABC. Person age equal to 18. Person address is equal to BBS. So here person ID. So the relational instance will be in this way. We can write the relational schema. Similarly, a relational instance person of the person ID equal to 101. Okay, this is the relational instance. In this way, I can write person relational instance person ID. Here you have to put the value here. Here you have to put the value here. Here you have to put the value. Here you have to put the value. Person ID equal to 101. Person name so equal to ABC. Suppose ABC. Age equal to 18. Address equal to suppose BBS. All instance values. This is the relation instance. In instance values, all permissible values that is stored in this domain range, in this attribute, that is the relational instance. Okay. So in this way we can find the relational instance of the table, relational schema of the table, cardinality of the table, degree of the table, domain range, attribute, table, data, the relational concept. So in this way we can study. So this is the introduction to this relational model. So here we are putting all values in a particular relation. Okay. So follow all this concept that is given today, and the description for this will be sent to you on your group. Okay. Okay. Thank you.